Imagine a civilization so powerful and advanced that it defied the gods, a city filled with wealth, technology, and ambition. Now imagine all of it being destroyed in a single day, vanishing into the depths of the ocean. This is the legend of Atlantis. But did it really exist, or is it just a brilliant invention by Plato? For over 2,000 years, this question has puzzled philosophers, historians, and explorers. Some theories suggest that Atlantis was inspired by real events, such as the eruption of Santorini or the Minoan civilization. Others claim it is nothing more than an allegory created by Plato to criticize the politics of his time. So where does the truth lie? Get ready for a journey that will explore the origins of this story, its possible inspirations, and the modern theories that keep the legend alive to this day. The answer to Atlantis may be far more surprising than you think. A glorious empire filled with wealth and power, a civilization so advanced that it ruled the seas and defied the gods. But in a single, terrible day and night, everything was destroyed. Atlantis disappeared forever, swallowed by the ocean. This is the story Plato tells us in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, written in the 4th century BC. According to him, Atlantis was a magnificent island located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar. Ruled by kings descended from Poseidon, this civilization possessed advanced technology, an unbeatable naval fleet, and unimaginable wealth. But its pride and ambition sealed its fate. As divine punishment, a great cataclysm made it vanish into the depths of the sea, leaving no trace behind. But was Plato describing a real event, or was he merely creating a metaphor to criticize the politics of his time? This mystery has intrigued philosophers, historians, and explorers for over 2,000 years. Some believe the legend may have been inspired by the destruction of the Minoan civilization, which was devastated by a volcanic eruption on Santorini around 1600 BC. Others argue that Atlantis never existed, that it was just a fictional example, meant to illustrate the dangers of corruption and excessive power. Despite this, the legend of Atlantis has grown far beyond philosophical texts. In the 19th century, explorers began searching for evidence of the lost city, fueling everything from serious archaeological research to pseudo-scientific theories. Some claim that Atlantis was a lost civilization hidden beneath the ice of Antarctica, while others suggest it was built by aliens, and pop culture hasn't been left behind. The legend has inspired movies, books, and games, such as Disney's Atlantis, The Lost Empire, and DC Comics stories about Aquaman. Today, the idea of a sunken city full of secrets continues to capture our imagination. But what if Atlantis wasn't just a myth? Could there be some hidden truth in this story? In this video, we'll dive into the possible origins of this legend and explore the theories that still keep the search for Atlantis alive. After all, the answer may be far more surprising than you think. Atlantis is more than just a story told by Plato. It is a mystery that challenges the line between myth and reality. To understand it, we must explore its possible inspirations, dive into the most fascinating theories, and, above all, question why this legend remains so alive in our minds. After all, could there be something deeper hidden beneath the waters? Let's begin with its possible historical inspirations. Many experts suggest that real events may have fueled Plato's narrative, even if he adjusted the details to fit his philosophical intentions. Among these theories, the most frequently cited event is the eruption of the Santorini volcano, a natural disaster that devastated the Aegean Sea around 1600 BC. Imagine this, an explosion so powerful that it destroyed much of the island of Thera, triggered massive tsunamis, and sent ash into the sky for weeks. It wouldn't be hard to imagine stories of such a catastrophe being passed down through generations until they reached Plato, centuries later, as a distorted memory of a lost world. But could Santorini really be the true Atlantis? Here's the issue. The Minoan civilization, which inhabited the region near the eruption, was indeed advanced. They had aqueducts, complex scripts like Linear A, and an extensive maritime trade network. However, the dates don't align precisely, and no Minoan records mention a sudden destruction of their culture. Perhaps Plato used this event as a distant inspiration, But there is something even more fascinating in his description: the political symbolism. What if Atlantis wasn't a place but an idea? Many scholars agree that Plato used the story as a moral allegory. Atlantis, in all its grandeur and downfall, was a critique of the arrogance of civilizations in his time, especially Athens. This theory makes sense when we analyze Timaeus and Critias more deeply. Plato didn't seem interested in making historical records. He wanted to explore philosophical questions like virtue, justice, and the dangers of excessive power. To him, Atlantis was the perfect example of a civilization that succumbed to its own ambition. But if most academics believe Atlantis is just a metaphor, why does it continue to capture our imagination? The answer lies in modern theories, some scientific, others more creative. For example, in the early 20th century, archaeologist Spiridon Marinatos suggested that Plato might have exaggerated Atlantis's description, but was inspired by a geologically plausible event. This opened the door for many explorers to start searching for concrete evidence. Among the most intriguing discoveries are the submerged structures found off the coast of Spain, near Doñana. These ruins, which resemble the rings of water and land described by Plato, have sparked intense debates about their origins. Could they be remnants of Atlantis, or just another ancient civilization lost to history? Meanwhile, bolder theories have emerged and gained worldwide attention. The Bermuda Triangle, for instance, has become a favorite location for those who believe in the existence of Atlantis. The idea of a sunken city in a region surrounded by mysteries and unexplained disappearances is too tempting to ignore, even without solid evidence. Another popular theory suggests that Atlantis lies hidden beneath Antarctica's ice, preserved for millennia. And then there are the more extreme versions, which propose that the city was not of this world at all. Atlantis, they say, was actually an extraterrestrial colony whose technological advances led to humanity's greatest innovations. It may sound absurd, but that's exactly what keeps the myth alive. These theories, even the most improbable ones, speak directly to our desire to explore the unknown. There is something instinctive in our search for Atlantis. It represents not just a lost civilization, but the hope that there are still mysteries left to uncover, and this is where pop culture comes into play. While science seeks answers, entertainment explores limitless possibilities. In cinema, Atlantis has been depicted as an advanced and mystical society in Disney's Atlantis, the Lost Empire, while in DC Comics it became Aquaman's kingdom, filled with intrigue and epic battles. Video games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and novels like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne continue to reinvent the legend, keeping it alive in popular imagination. But the question remains, why are we so determined to find Atlantis? Perhaps because it is more than just a story about the past. Atlantis is a mirror of humanity. It reflects our potential to create something great, but also our danger of destroying it with pride and ambition. Its destruction is a timeless warning. Even the greatest civilizations can fall. After more than 2,000 years, Atlantis remains one of humanity's greatest mysteries. Whether it was a real event, an ancestral memory of a natural catastrophe, or a brilliant creation of Plato's mind, the story of this lost city continues to fascinate us. We may never know the absolute truth, but perhaps that's not the point. Atlantis is not just about the past. It is a reflection of the present, of our innate curiosity, our dreams of exploring the unknown, and our desire to understand what lies beyond the horizon. The power of this myth lies precisely in its ambiguity. It is broad enough to accommodate all interpretations, a sunken civilization waiting to be discovered, a philosophical warning about the dangers of arrogance, or even a reminder of how small we are in the face of nature's forces. But regardless of what it truly is, Atlantis lives on. Not at the bottom of the ocean, but in our imagination and in the stories we continue to tell about it. Now the question is for you: was Atlantis real, a place that once ruled the seas, now lost forever? Or was it nothing more than a philosophical lesson created to teach us about the fragility of humanity? Share your opinion in the comments. Are we getting closer to the truth, or just diving deeper into the mystery. Atlantis remains an enigma, but in the end, perhaps what truly matters is not where it is or whether it ever existed, but the fact that it continues to inspire us to seek more, to imagine more, and to never stop exploring.